Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is GBay99. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today we are back with another Q&A video, where in this Q&A video we're doing something a little bit different. Normally in our Q&A videos we solicit our questions from Twitter, from all my Twitter followers. I'll tweet out, ask me questions and you guys, I'll take whatever the best questions are and put them into the video. But instead we took questions from Twitch chat. I had a stream where I told you guys to ask me questions for the videos, and it was a little bit more difficult to find good questions between all the Hitler memes and whatnot, but I think we found some pretty good ones, so I hope you guys enjoy. How much have you spent on League of Legends and how many skins do you have? That is a very good question. I remember back when there was that method where you could check how much money you spent on League. I got two separate numbers. It said I spent $1,300 US and then also 1,300 other dollars. I don't know if that means I've spent $2,600 on League of Legends in total, or just 1,300 and I don't know what the other number meant, but either way, it's quite a bit of money. I've played League of Legends since October of 2010, so I'm coming up on like 6 years of playing the game. If you divide all the hours I put into the game per like the amount of money I've spent, or like divide it into the months I've spent playing the game, I feel like it's not that bad when you take into account how long I've played the game. It's a lot of money for a lot of entertainment, but yeah, that's a lot of money. Maybe I shouldn't spend so much on League. How would you solve the dynamic queue problem? Honestly, if I was Riot, I would just bring back solo queue. I'm obviously very biased in thinking solo queue is better than dynamic queue, but I really wish that Riot will go back to the old system. Like, what I hope Riot does is I hope Riot continues trying to fix dynamic queue, because maybe there is some solution I'm not thinking of that would make everyone happy. But assuming that dynamic queue continues to have plenty of problems and the ladder continues to be a bit of a joke, I would hope that in the upcoming new season, Season 7, I think, of League of Legends, during the preseason, they would still have the new champion select, but would limit the amount of times, or the amount of people you could queue with, back down to 1 or 2. And honestly, I think that would fix everything. I mean, I would love to have the new champion select combined with the old solo queue. That would make League of Legends so much more fun. What's the next champion you're gonna do in completing League of Legends? Okay, so the next champion I'm doing in completing League, I think, is probably going to be like a top or mid laner. The way I'm thinking about doing the series is we're gonna do top and mid laners first, because I feel like those are my comfort areas where I'll be more comfortable trying out new champions and getting acquainted with playing a new champion every week or every 3 days, however frequently we release those episodes. My plan is to sort of focus on making an episode around a champion that's pretty good, like I can play them and do well with them quickly, but not good enough that they're always picked or banned. So it kind of depends on what the meta is, who I'm gonna play for the most part, but we'll see. There's actually been a number of champions I've been meaning to play more on YouTube. What champion are you looking forward to completing the least? Okay, so with that being said, the champion I'm looking forward to completing the least is probably Aatrox. Like I just said, I want to be able to play champions that I can do well with, and do well with relatively quickly. Not to say I want to go legendary my first game, but that I can pick up and play and still end up winning games enough so that I can get a level 5 champion mastery relatively fast. But oh my god, I don't even know how Aatrox is supposed to work anymore. What is he? I feel like he is not going to be good for a really long time. He's probably not going to get reworked for a really long time. And I mean, if there's any Aatrox mains out there, feel free to give me some tips. How did your parents react when you told them you wanted to be a YouTuber? Okay, that's actually a really good question, because when I first told my parents I wanted to drop out of college and be a YouTuber, I hadn't even started a YouTube channel yet. I didn't tell them I wanted to be a YouTuber. I didn't actually have a clear understanding of what it is I wanted to do. Just League of Legends was really blowing up, and I knew that there was an opportunity for me to maybe do something in the community, whether it's work in some field of it or be something like an entertainer, a YouTuber, a streamer. My thought process at the time was I wanted to drop out of college, because if I went to college 4 years down the line, League of Legends would either be a super big thing, which I just wasted 4 years that I could have been building myself as a personality in the community, or League of Legends would be dead and I missed an opportunity to just push college back a couple years and have a little fun with League. So when I came to them, I told them I wanted to be a streamer or a YouTuber, or maybe like a pro player or work for a pro team, or I mean, there were a number of different ideas that I had, and they were incredibly nice and understanding and nice enough to give me a shot that has definitely turned out pretty well. They were super skeptical and parenty at first, where they're always talking about Bloomingdale's executive training program and all that, but it's actually, they were immediately supportive as soon as they saw I could be successful at it. Was your life better or worse before and after your YouTube career, and how has it changed? What are the differences? That's another pretty interesting question. I'd say my life is definitely better after YouTube. I feel like I've matured in a lot of ways. And there's a number of things about YouTube that I've gotten to do stuff that people my age and even people slightly older than me have never done in their lives. Like, I get to travel so often, and not specifically like for work to go to some business conference to discuss a merger or, you know, business strategy or whatever. No, I get to travel to conventions where I just party and drink with you guys. The best part about YouTube for me is having a job that also serves as a creative outlet. So whenever I get like emotional or whenever I have something on my mind that I want to explore in a creative way, I can do so through my work. But I mean, it definitely does have its drawbacks. I get recognized in a ton of games I play, which is cool at first that I'm a known person, but it can really mess you up when you have so many people always calling you Goldbay. Who is your best YouTuber friend? Professor Milk by far. So I don't really talk to many people online on a daily basis. I wouldn't really say I have like a close YouTuber friend or group that I hang out with really often, but the most fun person that you will ever meet to have a conversation with is Professor Milk. You guys know how in his videos he'll just say something ridiculous like,
Passive. Nimble Fighter. This passive, much like Riot's death report system, doesn't actually do anything.
And he'll say it so confidently that for a split second you believe it. That's what talking to him is like in everyday life. You can just sit down and be having a conversation with him about whatever, about anything really, and he will say things that you have no idea if he's being serious or not. It keeps you on your toes in such a fun way. He's just a really fun person. You should all go subscribe to him. He's also really into magic, and sometimes he'll be showing you a trick or something and he'll make you feel like an idiot. He'll say, here's a trick for you. This is like a really easy trick that it's for old people and babies for the most part. And then he'll do something that will just blow your mind and make you feel like your brain's exploded, and he'll be suave as ever. A lot of you guys ask me who my favorite League YouTuber is, or whoever gives me the most inspiration in the League community or whatever. You know, now that I think about it, it's probably him. Would you ever work for Riot as some sort of consultant? Do you think they should take on major YouTubers and more well-known members of the community as consultants? That's a kind of interesting question. I'd say probably no for the most part. Like, YouTubers shouldn't be balancing the game, if that's what you're getting at. I don't think that I am smart enough to balance the game, but I do think that Riot should solicit some sort of feedback from, especially like the pro players out there. I feel like a lot of the balance issues and changes that happen, pro players have very, very confident and, for the most part, pretty smart understandings of how the game is supposed to work, and they could probably give Riot a lot of needed feedback to their balance team, and whenever they make a huge sweeping change to the gameplay, like adding elemental dragons. That's not to say pros can't be biased, like I'm sure Vayne players would all want Vayne buffs, and it's also not to say that pros can't be wrong. I think pros have gotten a lot of stuff wrong now that I think about it in the past when talking about certain changes that have come into the game that people just haven't been right about. That's not just for League of Legends. I mean, that's every game. Go to Hearthstone. There's some hilarious videos on YouTube of Hearthstone pros talking about how Dr. Boom is going to be like the worst card in Hearthstone after its announcement. But I don't think Riot is all-knowing. They could probably learn some stuff, and they could probably be benefited if they do get some outside opinions like they did on that round table thing, whether it's public or private. They could probably be benefited if they got some outside opinions in understanding what it is that certain areas of their community believe about certain changes coming up. And finally, our last question: if you could move anywhere on the planet, where would it be and why? That is a pretty tough question to answer, honestly. You know, I might want to move to Boca Grande, I talked about in my last video, but beyond that, I don't really think I could leave Cincinnati. If I'm being honest, you know, I really like it here. I've been so many places, I get to travel so often, and I never really feel like I belong somewhere else. I always feel like this town is my home. Cincinnati just fits me really well. It's like a small enough town that there's no real crime. You can go out and buy groceries at 3 in the morning and not have to worry about anything. I actually almost got into a little trouble the first time I went to LA because I didn't realize the rest of the world isn't like that. But I'm like a quiet and introverted person, and it's a really nice, calm area, but it's still big enough that there's like beautiful art museums, there's sports teams, there's plenty of events and great parks you can go to. It's a really nice place. I don't know if I could ever leave it. Oh God, I moved the camera. Oh no, it's gonna look different now, isn't it? But anyway, that is it for this Q&A. Before you go, be sure to follow me on Twitter if you want to be in the next Q&A. We'll probably go back to Twitter for our upcoming Q&A, which will probably be another one. We'll do another one in about a week. I hope you guys are still liking these Q&As. Maybe leave a like on the video if you are liking these Q&As, because as I say in my last video, that's typically the best way for me to gauge feedback on whether or not you guys want to see any more of this kind of stuff. But anyway, now that my like, comment, subscribe, sell out stuff is done, I hope you guys all enjoyed watching. I'll see you all in tomorrow's video, but until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.